Hey, you're on Smooth Annotations with Ms. Austin, and today we're going to break down Sonnet's turbo speed. My goal is to make sure this video is no longer than 6 minutes. Alright, so today our essential questions are: how does the rhyme scheme and structure of a poem contribute to the development of the poem? And our second question is: how can poetry help us express our deepest feelings? So first of all, what is a sonnet? Well, we're going to watch a schmoop video today explaining it, but a sonnet is 14 lines and they follow a rigid rhyme scheme. And I have an example of that rhyme scheme down here, which is actually the poem we're going to analyze today, okay? They're usually written in iambic pentameter as well, so they're just extremely structured poems, okay? How do we break down a sonnet? Well, I'm actually going to go through these steps today as I break down Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. All right? First, we want to read the poem without annotating it. Let's pause the video and do that now. All right? Step 2. Stop at each line and consider what the symbols represent. Let's do that now. Shall I compare thee to a summer day? Okay. When I think of summer, I think of like an ideal day. I think of like beauty, sun rays, happiness, what have you. Okay. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Okay, we're talking about summer. Rough winds. I think about like rough winds. What can they symbolize? I think of maybe like rough winds, like problems maybe. I'm just really just going through this thinking about symbols. Do shake the darling buds of May. Okay, buds. I think of flowers again. Innocence. Like what do I think that represents? There's no innocence, right? I don't know. Innocence. Okay. And summer's lease. We're going back to summer, the other symbol. Lease hath all too short a date, sometimes too hot. I'm talking about summer again. Heaven shine. Once again, I think of like heaven and what heaven symbolizes, like goodness, beauty, what have you. Like everything ideal. Okay. Let me zoom into here. Okay. And often is his gold complexion. I think of the sun dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines by chance of nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy internal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession. Okay, internal, I think of like the beauty within you, like internal summer, like internal within you. Possession of that fair, thou out, nor lose possession of that fair thou out. Nor shall death, okay, we're talking about death, brag, personification, thou wonderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to be. Okay, so I just went through like noting the symbols. Okay, 3, focus on the subject and adjective. So ask yourself, what is he or she talking about and how is it being talked about? Okay, so the first line, shall I compare thee? I don't know who thee is yet. To a summer day. So I feel like he's saying like, can I compare you to something beautiful? Like he seems like he's talking about thee in a positive way. Thou art more lovely. Okay, he's saying that they're lovely, more temperate. When I think of like temperate, I think of like warm. That could have multiple meanings though. Like whether you're saying warm as in comforting or temperate, like, you know, you don't have a temper. Rough winds do shake. Okay, now the subject, we're talking about rough winds. What do? They shake the darling buds of May. Once again, summer being the subject. And summer's lease hath I'm already at 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna speed up, guys. Sometimes too hot, the eye of heaven. So I'm just noting once again the symbols of what he's talking about, and then I'm still paying attention to how he's describing this summer. He's referring to them as being fair, but he's saying something declines as well by chance of nature's changing course untrimmed. The thy again is the subject, nor lose possession of that fair. Okay, like when I think of fair, once again, it's like positive, like usually something that's beautiful. And in eternal lines, okay, eternal lines, okay, subject, lines. Lines, I actually think of a poem when I think of lines, like who's he talking to? His shade. Okay, subject. Okay, it's a male, his. Okay. So long as men, we're talking about men now, can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this subject. What is he referring to? This subject. What does it do? Gives life to thee. Life to thee. Okay, so I did step theory. I feel like he's talking about summer, but he's comparing something to summer. That something is a his, but then he ends by saying this. So if I say this, what is this? I'm kind of asking myself, what is this? And then eternal lines. Is he talking about like the poem itself? Possibly. Okay. Step 4, paraphrase each line in every 2 lines. We are not going to do that in this video. There's actually other videos you can watch that do that. I'm not going to bore y'all with that right now. All right. And then reread the last 2 lines to fully understand the central idea of the poem. Well, that's what I kept kind of rereading. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So once again, eternal lines, like the lines of a poem, the lines of a song, grow, becomes greater, so long as men can breathe or see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So this, like this poem gives life, or he gives life to the poem. That's kind of what I'm thinking the central idea is the idea that this is like a meta poem. It's like a poem about a poem. So, all right, I'm going to stop there. All right. And then we're going to move on to other interpretations of this poem.